government does not know the plight of their citizens. They do not know how their citizens are suffering in this place. They had no good leadership in this government. The government had no good leader.
But over the period, we saw police chasing people out of here. But
they are still corrupt people. They are all MCC. They are now even police. They are Jefferson Koji police. They are not police. You don't know them. They are Jefferson Koji police, city major of this city.
So you are not being allowed to
function another city operation.
How are you coping with the mandate? You are not being allowed to do your regular business, but you are still here. How is it like for you?
I coping with them. They told me to not go on the street. They said they're facing the road. And I'm not on the road. I'm far on the road.
So that means you still doing your business smoothly?
Yeah, I do my business not smoothly. I have myself and do my business.
So hiring yourself to do business, is it preferable?
Yeah, but for now, I gotta feed my family. I guess only to do to support my family.
Did you vote for this government? Did you support this government?
If I vote for the government, I'll be a damn man. And I will not vote for the government in my life because they had lack of leadership ability.
So when you say lack of leadership in terms of what?
They do not know the part of their citizens. Even the president does not know the role in function.
But the development of this role is an advantage.
Yeah, we want development. We need development. But since last year, July 10, up to now, and they shot this thing. You take 1 year, and the phone is in your hand. This phone is a World Bank project.
And they also took several times to relocate people from here. Are you also considering that?
Even when we relocate us, this regular market is a commercial center of this Republic of Liberia.
So that means it should remain as it used to be? Is that what you're saying? It should remain as it used to be, overcrowded, overpopulated?
I'm not saying that it should remain overcrowded, but you cannot take everybody from this regular, so no stores are left. Business people will always be around.
Okay, so that's the issue. I think that's why they decide to close the stores temporarily.
Yeah, but when you close the store, I mean, stopping people from coming to Redland.
How do you think the road construction work can go on safely or smoothly if people are still here?
People are not around. You see the barricade down there? You see the barricade? When there's some rival when they're facing the channel or Japanese government were facing it. Were you there? You saw the road, how they were facing it? They get demarcation where citizens to pass, and the citizens were passing with all hindrance. Why they can't do the thing? They carry a road from Program Factory. Then people were selling at red there. They put demarcation. Demarcation where the people were selling, and they still not facing the road. But it's a politics on the day. People had a store, Jefferson Koji, and the public minister. They had a store, Mega. They forced people to go there. There's a politics on the whole thing. They had their stores operating.
So to conclude, what would you like to say?
Let us say this government had the towards that the business people of Liberia don't want spectators. Now we are spectators who are going to grow up all of business.
Where is about development?
Where is the development? The development can complete. While the phone is still there. So, they spread the phone, they want to put blame on the business people.
Are you aware that before, development take place, there's also be, not probably a disruption or destruction?
Yeah, we agree, but when you disrupt your citizen, you should carry it well speedily. You know that it plays a commercial area. Everybody will not live on this place. Go down demarcation that a citizen will live, send their children to school. But through the business, they will create fun to send our children to school if we are family.
So if you don't make business for 1 week, or maybe there were no specific day set up, maybe that you come back to your store or your late shop or your booth. If you don't make business for the past and maybe hard yourself, what will lead to your family?
If I don't make business for 1 week, it affected me.
What effect on you?
Why effect? You know why effect?
I want to know. I don't know what effect. I want to know.
How the children will eat. How the children will eat. How I send them to school. How I pay their transportation to go and come. Great effect.
All right. What your name?
Sabi Yuma.
Thank you, Mr. Yuma. That be your young man.
How are you? How are you?
Welcome.
Yeah, super J.
Your name?
Nobody's good. My name is Panama.
Panama, how do you feel about this entire closure of schools in Maryland?
Actually, I feel disappointed.
In the government?
I feel disappointed in the government. I feel disappointed even in the judiciary system. And they even making laws for us.
But this is a huge development. The construction of the road is a huge development. Are you also not considering that?
You know, prioritize development. Development is very good. But if you see with what the government doing, they are going beyond, the man. Because if I see my distance where I'm doing my business and where the government is carrying on a development, I have no intrusion into the government and development.
Have there been improvements since the ascendancy of this government in your business?
Have there been what?
Have there been improvement in your business since the coming of this government?
I see too much appreciation. Improvement.
And why is the cause of depreciation in your
What are the
business?
challenges?
Like, when things were normal, I said normally my customers, that used to know my direct business area, no more know that area. So everybody there can scatter and there's no way to get each other to lose each other. So it gave me a lot of time, a lot of hard time in my business.
So what you want to tell about? What's your recommendation?
I want to tell the government, not everybody will see into governmental part. Not everybody will get government job. We are entrepreneurs. Our businesses, that's what we rely on. So let them do the development and leave the business people. That would do our business. We never study politics. So these things we are doing for the interest of our family and the benefit of ourselves. So these people are going to
what do you like to say?
I would like to say I'm a Liberian. I love development. In so doing, I need to survive. If the development go on, the army survive, I think it'll be a waste. So that the government need me to survive, and that carry on the development. I get no problem with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Y'all can't do it, man.
Welcome, Chief. Your name?
Nathan, this time is my name.
What do you sell? What are you involved in?
I do business exchange, money exchange.
How has it been like this?
Very difficult, especially with the exercise. The first exercise, the second one, especially the third one, where you have no prior information. People just came because they in authority. They feel that they on top of things, they air conditioned car. They just take, a problem or decision to do something that can favor them. We the citizens, they don't care for us.
So, don't you see the construction of the road as a major reason for this issue?
Let me tell you something about development. When you say development, men like us, we should be developed before. We talk about this is an infrastructure, right? Development comes with building the minds of the youth. When our mind is built up, our youth, let's take the youth. So our mind should be built up before we talk about infrastructure. Infrastructure building is something that just standing, but for human, as a reasonable government, you should think how your citizens, the life your citizens living first, build up them first, before you talk about infrastructure.
Are you saying infrastructure development is not important for Liberians now?
It's a very cardinal point.
Is it not important for Liberians?
It's important. I'm not negating that fact.
But personal development should be prioritized.
It's not personal. I'm not talking about personal development. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying development as a whole, without impacting your citizen.
That's why as a personal individual, you should be capacitated.
Yeah, as citizen, not personal to me now, as citizen as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
So you support this government?
If I support this government,
Are you a citizen?
I am not.
If you were to rate this government performance, at what percent would you rate?
From 100, I give them 30%.
30%.
Yes.
Why?
Because, it's slow. The reason is simple.
We have construction of markets, roads, clinics,
Schools and
Granted, markets, all roads are constructed, right? So what the impact? I come in, let me explain to you. You constructed a market at Omega. Now the market is in the water. Not all roads are under the market. So what will be your impact? Markets are refusing to go in the building because of the condition of the
in the
place.
building or outside.
At the outskirts of the building, before getting into the building itself, you have to walk in the water or in the mud before you enter the building itself. So what the impact?
But it's obvious that that place is a slum area.
But then you take that as the conference of government.
Consider, okay, are you considering the dollar market?
Dollar market as heard. Dollar market as I heard. Though I have never went there. But it's still all the same. The same problem at Omega, people abandon the entire market. They are now down. But yes, I see the information I got.
Are you disappointed in the public
Very disappointed. 100%. My recommendation to them is this. What they started doing for this, those are supported and have voted for them before. Let it carry on. Let it continue to depress it, suppress it, let it suppress it until
You should suppress you.
so the people suppressing you, right?
Oh, yes.
Until 2023,
Yes, let it carry on.
and you surprise them.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you see a
2023 was
second
there.
term for the CDC-led government?
Second term, CDC. First round, they came in winning first. First round, will be out of Phantom was second round.
So what's the name again? Mr. Temwe, thank you for talking to us. Thank you. So you listen to them.
Oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Most Liberian homes don't have electricity. Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, is electricity it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. Our next priority is agriculture. We are a country that do not feed ourselves. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves. And my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our fifth priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government. Because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring. Together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic.
Time going home. But again, I want to encourage Liberians. When you get up in the morning, make sure you call your people. Call your people. Yes, call your people. All right? What the other man said, my man, you are silly, right? For nonsense you are putting out here. All right? You see, this guy looking for notice. These are some of the people that don't get a damn about the country. And you know, he don't get a damn about the country. He come here now with a lot of insulting words, thinking that he will distract me. First of all, the man are crewman. And you know, he call himself crewman. So right now, he's fighting a travel war with me right now because I'm telling him that Joe Weah is incompetent, so he come here now. But when you ask the man here, what he ate today, when you look at what your neighbor ate today, he doesn't care. You know, people will always be people. So this time when they come here, they can say anything. Go ahead and say it. All right? I'm not going to bother you. Go ahead and say you're entitled to what you want to say. The fact that you're not coming here to tell the Liberian people what Joe Weah has done. You know, don't waste your time behind anyone who come on your page to come insult you. Mr. Weah is in his fifth year. Now one of his supporters will come and tell you, say, you know what? Yeah, it's the data here. Joe Weah had done this, Joe Weah had done that. But what do? They only come to insult. Because you know why? When you have people who got nothing to show as some sort of proof to show what they are doing, what do? They come here and start to insult you. And that's how Joe Weah is. The man is very incompetent because the people who follow him are also incompetent. They both of them equate to a total incompetency. All right? How can you come and want to support somebody and the person cannot give you any deliverable? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. All right? The man who claimed to have an agenda, he said he had the 4 pillar. There is absolutely nothing anyone can see across the country. Absolutely nothing. And then you want to get people who will just come here and can't justify. No. That's why I'm saying Joe Weah cannot come to this country because Joe Weah is too kindergarten to come to meet African leaders. No. Joe Weah don't have that brain in America to stand or sit among African leaders. I'm not doing with you guys. That man don't have what it takes to sit among good people. Joe Weah does not have that. Let's be honest. When Joe Weah come to Washington, D.C., the capital, the political capital of the world, where you got people with sharp brain. What George we are going to say over there, ladies and gentlemen? What will he say over there? And that's why we got to make sure that we get rid of this man. That man cannot represent anything. George Weah cannot go play football anymore. The football age is gone. So what else does he want to do? We made the man president. He can hardly defend himself. The Millennium Challenge program, George Weah cannot even give us one reason to say, yeah, let the program come back. As easy as the Millennium Challenge indicator were, George Weah could not pass it for 4 years in a row. George Weah failed. What else George Weah will pass in that you and I don't know? Absolutely nothing. It's time that they got be given the pink slip by the Liberian people. George Weah is in no capacity, is in no right. 5 years. Imagine you being on the job for 5 years. All right? Yeah, Mr. True Player, I will check my bags. Thank you very much. I will check my bags. Imagine you been how they call it? You stay somewhere for 5 years. If I leave from America here and go to Europe to live, by 5 years, I should be able to know my terrain. I should be able to understand what the people are doing. That man been in there for 5 years. Nothing he has done. Absolutely nothing. And that's why he needs to go. This election is not about whether CDC win or CDC lost. This election is about George Weah getting booted out of office. All the money the people are giving to that country, ladies and gentlemen, all the money we are receiving from the international community, our people are still living in extreme and abject poverty. There is nothing they had done. Look how God and McGill, he went out there. You imagine that you in your last year to election, and you're not going around and telling the people, look at what we built for you guys. Look at what your children are benefiting from. Look at what we have done for the older population. Nothing is coming from George Weah like that. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. George Weah should be talking about deliverable. George Weah should be talking about deliverable, but he got nothing. That is why the people that support him got nothing to show. You know, when you support a good team and the team keep producing and giving good results, you will come and talk about the team result. If you work for any company that is doing so well, you will be proud of that company. If you have a child that is in school and doing well, you will be so happy to talk about that child's success, right? George Weah has done nothing for the country after 5 years. And that is why you will see all his supporters. They do what it takes. I was just buffering right now, so you got to bear with me. I was just buffering. But George Weah got nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you want to go give the man 6 years? What will Seditian tell you that you should give George Weah 6 years? That you already don't know. They may have done nothing for the people of Liberia. This year alone, George Weah should be telling you and I what accomplishment, what are his achievements for the past 5 years in the first term. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. We must be able to help our people and make them to understand that election is not about supporting somebody because you want to be in a party. When you electing somebody, it should be about the benefit that the government policy will give to you. Today, many Liberians feel that you must just be a citizen because you belong to a party. But as far as your well-being goes, they don't see that the government or the government in power should help them. And that is why they will always call you, oh, please help me with this, please help me with that. Because they just feel that when they vote somebody into office, it's over. Nothing else that person is supposed to do for them. Absolutely nothing. And that is wrong. That is wrong. Our people are being humiliated. All right? They are being humiliated. They are being put to shame. They are embarrassing themselves. And even those that live in this country, you will imagine that they will be able to speak on deliverable. I'm telling you guys now, any mistake Liberian people make, your gay job, we are that country. Ha! That one, who the hell will come down to save Liberians? Make mistake and get job, we are that country. Only hell will come down. Those that are doubting right now, because it's supposed that in the end will come and tell you, you're getting Manhattan, you know the Americans saw everything. 12 years not enough. Because right now they're telling you 12 years will go, but they're not giving you how much progress we have made for the past 5 years. No progress. Absolutely nothing. Nothing he has done. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The message to the people of Liberia should be about their well-being that Mr. Weah did not accomplish. This is the time that you must get people who really need change to be the one to carry the message. Yes, to be the one to carry the message. We don't want people just sitting down and having the free conversation. No, because the free conversation will not give the people the idea to vote. And nobody should put a hand on their head when they say Weah is re-elected, because you were basically listening to political entertainment rather than listening to the true message that's supposed to get people elected. And that is why whenever I come on, I'm not going to get engaged. Why should I discuss these people rather than telling these people about Joe Weah failure to them? What else are you going to talk about? What else are you going to talk about? What else are you going to talk about? Look, let me say this here. If you come here, let me see, first of all, you got 2 fake names, so you got to go, all right? You got 2 fake names here. You got to go. You see, these guys, then, they are afraid. They will come again, and they will not come to tell you what Joe Weah has done. That is the saddest thing about the guy who's supporting Joe Weah. They know that man is damn incompetent. And that is why they don't even come out to say, Randy, quit that talking. Look at the link that Joe Weah has put up and see how much development he has done. They don't do that. They are very uneducated, just Joe Weah himself. They are very uneducated. You say you support somebody for what? To just come and rubbish thing people saying when you don't even have proof? Joe Weah ain't work for them. Joe Weah don't work for them. Look at young men like Samuel Ito. People who support Samuel Ito today, the contract and the deal that Samuel Ito signed with UNDP. If anybody who doubting Samuel Ito, his supporter will go out there and they will take that document and show it to you. But you got these guys coming here and want to justify Joshua when they know the man is very, very dull. He's not smart. He got no brain in his head. People have said that his brain in his leg. I mean, when you look at his photo, you can tell how very, very poor and not smart he is. Absolutely nothing. The costume he wear don't even look good. He want to wear dark glasses. Nothing makes sense in what he does. This man is literally a failure to the Liberian people. Then he want to wear dark shade. No, people that wear dark shade, they are cool. When Obama wear his dark shade, when Biden wear their dark shades, people are pleased with the dark shade they're wearing because their economy under these leaders did extremely well. When the Ghanaian president wear his dark shade, it means something. You got a president that don't know nothing about leadership, and he has refused to bring people to power. Absolutely nothing. Then you got people who want to come here and can't justify. Justify what? What are you coming to justify here? What are you coming to justify? You're not bringing nothing to the table for us to discuss. Nothing you're bringing to the table. Nothing. God, let Joe Weah should be somewhere out of that country going to school. Joe Weah need to be re-educated to show that the education Joe Weah got is a good for nothing education. That man did not sit down in no damn classroom. I am now convinced that Joe Weah did not log into any computer as far as I'm concerned. Yes, George Weah did not log into any computer. That time the money he had, apparently whoever he paid to do that job for him, that person gather knowledge, and Weah did not gather, Weah only gather paper. Remember, it's two things. Whoever did that code for George Weah to get that degree, the person took that knowledge, and George Weah only got the paper. And that's why today you see George Weah is so incompetent, because he did not take his own time to sit down and read what he was giving through that online school. Nothing. And then you got people who want to come here and want to justify, but they cannot provide you with one proof. With one proof. And then you want to support somebody like that? Because you yourself too, you don't work for them. You yourself, you work for them. And that is why we, the independent supporter of Mr. Cummings, will do everything possible. Tomorrow morning again, I will be on the radio in Liberia telling people that this George Weah man is very incompetent. He's not smart. He shouldn't be nothing else in our country. He can get all mad he wants. Because nowadays they say he get mad when people tell him the truth. He get mad when people tell him say he's incompetent. I don't care for damn whether George Weah get mad or not. George Weah feeling is not a feeling that I should be concerned about, because George Weah evil way against our people, it had no feeling in it for him to understand that the Liberian people who voted him into office, he's doing nothing about it. Nothing about it. He feels very good in himself when the people are going to bed on empty stomachs, and then he feels good about himself by going to bed on a filled stomach. That's somebody you think that deserve any respect? No, he doesn't deserve respect. We will be in Liberia in the morning again. Yes, we will be in Liberia in the morning, and we'll continue to expose them. We're coming for Nathaniel McGill tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I am going to be up at 3 a.m. That will be the start time. I just talked to the sheriff. The sheriff will be expecting me 3 a.m. in the morning. We're going to run it for 3 hours. Yes. Because tonight, I'm having no broadcast. So I'm going to go to bed early and ask God. We will get ready tomorrow. We'll start our show in the morning. We will do 7, 8, and by 9, we'll be done. But we will rip that guy apart. We will rip him apart. All right? What's up, Christine? Yes. No, Joe Barker will come vote for us. Yes. Christine, Joseph Barker is going to join us in order to defeat, all right? In order to defeat George Weah. We don't want to leave Joe Barker on. Unity Party people, they will come to join us again. Yes, it's just a matter of time. But Unity Party people coming to join us. George Weah must go. Yes, George Weah must go, and he will be going. Come 2020 now or 23, he will go. Yeah, he will go. Sedition are afraid. Nowadays there are people who sit down there and say you should. They will come, my sister. They will come. Liberian politics is very, very funny. It don't rush with things. When you make decision early in the face of election, it exposes your weakness. You don't do the kind of thing. So just relax. Joe Barker and his people will come around. They will come around. Weah will be gone. Joe Barker will never support George Weah. Let me tell you this. Joe Barker will never support George Weah. Joe Barker will end up supporting Mr. Cummings. Joe Bucker know that George Weah and Ellie Johnson said he messed him up. So it would be a disgrace to his own self to say he's going to support George Weah. He will never do that. Joe Bucker will come around. The Cummings ticket will be great. Most of the political party people will come and join. Yes, they will come and join to get rid of the nightmare. Yes, they good for nothing man they call George Weah. He ain't work for them. Those people that follow George Weah, they cannot even articulate anything that George Weah has done. You can go on any show, nothing they can show you. You talk to McGill, nothing. You talk to whoever, nothing. This is one of the least president we ever had in our country. Even David Komapo, even Ruth Perry, even Moses Blah, those guys who were temporarily in charge of our country, looking at what they did for that few times they were there, they are better than the George Weah man who call himself president. This is a total humiliation to our country when you get a man that don't even look presidential. He don't even do anything right. I don't give a damn whether he speak good English or not, but as long the idea that he putting forward makes sense, I will accept. But for George Weah, no bogo, no bogo. The man is just a mess up guy that don't know nothing. Then he want to come to Washington, D.C. Come to Washington, D.C. for what, folks? What is George Weah coming to do to Washington, D.C.? A place where you got advanced experience, real guru, they're going to talk, real talk. What George Weah going to do over there? All George Weah let he live while he was celebrity in the football world. He never came to Washington, D.C. to even do anything. That now you want to be, you are president and you coming to sit with people who are well measured in their thought and in their action. And then you won't can sit down to can't talk what George Weah. That man not know nothing. This is a total damn embarrassment for us to come and see George Weah. That guy will embarrass this country here. The man got no clue. You ask George Weah what is climate change, he will never tell you. Ask George Weah what is greenhouse gas emission, he will never tell you. That how bad the guy is, and then people want to come and justify it. The man got a government. He said he got something they call a 4 pillar. People campaign for him and made him president. All the things under the 4 pillar, Mr. Weah had not been able to empower his more piece of people to say, yeah, you go out there. Here are the things that I have accomplished over the past 5 years. You go out there and tell Jerry, you go out there and tell the person here. Nothing George Weah has done. Absolutely nothing. Some of you guys who came to the country 2 years ago, you got something that you can show to people now. If not a job, a new apartment. If not a new apartment, you got a second-hand car. That measure your progress. You got a man who sat in a place for over 5 years, got all the fiscal budget into place. Every year they sound fiscal budget, they do this 1 year. Nothing they have done but just stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing. I don't give a damn about George Weah. He ain't work for a damn. I'm telling you guys right now. He doesn't work for a damn. He just another good for nothing soul that came on the face of the planet here. George Weah only became successful in the football world because they have white people managing him. Yes. George Weah could not do anything by himself. He only became successful because the white coaches then were making sure that he show up to practice every day. He know that he was getting paid, so on the sideline the coach will be there and tell you, say, you got to work hard for your money. You got to work hard for your money. Other than that, George Weah did not represent any team in Europe as captain because the people know that George Weah ain't got the brain to be captain for anything. The man is completely dull. He don't understand nothing. All right, nothing he understands. Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, all the African players, most of them, Keita, them, all the men who captain band for the different clubs they play for. But a man called George Weah who won Ballon d'Or, never even captain any team in Europe. Do you think George Weah was somebody that could be a better person? No, because the people know they interact with all the players and they know George Weah don't work for a damn. I'm telling you now. All right, many of you guys who watch Samuel Eto'o play, many of you guys who watch Didier Drogba play, you will see that look guy, they were one time giving the captain band to lead the team on a given day. All right, when you see people giving players those kind of title to say be the captain of the team, It's because they see some sort of leadership role in them. But for George Weah did not get nothing of a sort. Absolutely nothing. Because the brother is not smart. The guy is not willing to learn. He's not willing to change. This is the man that we gave our country to for 6 years. But look what he had done for 5 years. Destroy that entire country. Everything that Ellen put together, George Weah had destroyed it. Today, his own people cannot come to give you any tangible reason. Not one reason George Weah will give you. Not one. And we got to make sure we tell the Liberian people. Because the hell they're trying to put themselves into. The hell they're trying to put themselves into. Don't fool yourself and go sit down on the platform. These people who running the platform and they're not understanding the struggle our people going through. They do not understand the struggle. Right now, I'm going home. Right now, I will have a different option to get food. Right now, you're going home or you maybe in your living room, you got option. But the people in Liberia do not have that choice. So don't go sit down on a platform and just be wasting your time. You don't be wasting your time. Be on a platform that will continue to tell the people that George Weah ain't work for them. It doesn't work for them. He's not doing nothing to better the people's life. The man is in his 5th year of office. He cannot tell you or me what has he done for the people of Liberia. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, folks. This is a shame. This is a shame. This is a shame. So we just got to keep our finger crossed and keep motivating our people. So we'll be back here tomorrow morning. This evening we'll just do repeat broadcast of things because I have to take the day off. This is Wednesday today. So we'll be doing repeat broadcasts. Yes, we'll do repeat broadcasts. Here it is. We'll do a repeat broadcast. Hey, Sissy Montro, what's up? Sissy Montro, the thing you promised me, you gotta live up to your standard. Sissy Montro, the thing we discussed, you gotta live up to your standard. Some of your colleagues then have responded. I haven't heard from you yet. I just hope everything is okay. But we need to not relax. We need to let ourselves do what we can do. So, Sissy Montro, you know what we discussed. I need to see, some result. Yeah. So let us not let our guard down. We got things to do. Right now, the young men in Liberia, I'm part of their group now. We're having good conversation, and I'm really happy about that. So yes. So I just want to let the team know here. Yes. So yeah, guys. So you're dealing with a man who don't have no clue about the presidency in Liberia. He has absolutely no clue. George Weah got nothing to do. So I'm saying this to every Liberian who believe that we need to remove George Weah in 2023 by encouraging every Liberian, don't leave your party. Stay in your party. But come over and support Mr. Cummings and fight for your future. Fight for your future. The people projected that by the year 2030, we should have a middle class. This is 2022, right? We got 8 more years to go for that middle class. We have taken 6 years and nothing he has done. And you go get that man 6 more years, you will not realize your future. That man is not a leader. He is a good for nothing celebrity. He's not a leader. That man came with his so-called story that he was this, he was that, but in the end, he did not only lie to the Liberian people, he deceived the Liberian people. And I want you to understand that this election is about your future. The guys that live in America here, that live in Europe, They don't give a damn whether we are stay there for 27 years. Because they are economically benefiting themselves from the country they find themselves in. But you in Liberia, you don't have even a bank account. You don't have even an apartment or a car. You don't even have a part-time job. You don't even have a daily labor job in our country. And it has been going on for the past 6 years. WIA has used 5 years out of his term. You went through it for 12 years. WIA is putting you in it for 5 years going on 6. When will you believe in yourself that Liberia belongs to you? When? Joe WIA is not giving you that hope. For my girl to go to Bonkande and say nothing else to the people but to tell the people that even if you're still in your baby house here, and do you think they deserve another 6 years? What do you think Maggie should be telling these people then? Maggie should have gone over there and say, you see the school here? That school over there, this one here? Joe, we are there well. These schools were not here. And the quality of teaching were not here. Market women, older population in the country, you see what Joe we had done for you people? Joe we had given the farmer tools to go to the farm. Joe we had given the market women some form of education to be more engaged with the market things they do. But do you think Joe we had done all those things? Any of those things? No. This election should be about Joe we are deliverable. But everywhere you go on any platform, when you see the Joe we are supporter there, all they will tell you 12 years. 12-year ruling. That's all they will tell you. But the plight of the people on the ground, the masses suffering, the hunger, they don't say anything about it. Because it is not their heredity. It is not their children. So they only see Joe we are as their model. Their idol they worship. 12 years. Well, that 12 years is preventing people from eating every day. It's preventing people from not having job. They don't care. They do not care. Because that's how heartless and cold-hearted Joe we have made them. And don't let your guard down, folks. Don't go and sit on some platform and you see thousands of people watching. You say, oh yeah, it's good. No, your brothers and sisters in our country are suffering. They are suffering. They can barely get $1 to buy a bread. Then that's something you will go take and put their money on data. No. Your brothers and sisters in our country are suffering. They are not part of what we watch here. They are not part of it. They want someone who will discuss their problem, their issue. They want someone who will discuss their issue. They don't want to come and hear, oh, Sajuse did this. No. They want somebody to come and tell them and say, I understand the hunger you go through every day. I understand the hardship that you will not put on you. And there is nobody else that will do good for you but Mr. Cummings. And you support him. Mr. Cummings now know how you're suffering in this country. He understands your struggle. You get her in the morning, no food here. But Joe, we are get her in the morning, he know how to damn Buga dance because he got strength. That is message that people need. It's not going to sit down on the B platform. All you got on the platform right now, I can turn my phone on right now to my house right now. I can get on my other phone here now and just sit down. I in my car here. I can sit down and be drinking, just be listening to the bigger platform. People that talking crap. But these people that talking the crap, their children are all like my children in the home right now. They're enjoying themselves. The guy that you see on the bigger platform, their children in their home, they're doing everything. Yeah, close that door. Inside here. We've been there and done that. When I say this election should be about the issue, you need to find a place where the issue are discussed. If not, the people will feel normal and they will go and vote for the person that they don't intend on voting for. And then guess what? They will turn around and start coming to you after the election result. Oh, please help me with $5, please help me with $20. because you miss out the opportunity to bring to the attention that the $5 you're asking for will not make your life better. The platform you listen to here just to talk about political blunder is not going to make your life better. We want you to understand your own life, that you can be somebody because you are somebody. You can be somebody. You got grown people in our country that are in their 20s, in their 25, 26, 30, 40. They never work in their life. Can you imagine somebody in Liberia never work in their life? Some people never sat down behind a car to even hold the steering like this. And we got a leader in our country that is not doing anything positive to help our people. What the job? We have people there here now. And they were here, then come. Check, give her a link, put a link there. Say, Randy, yeah, check the link out. This is what Joey has done. Nothing. Nothing. Have you seen Joey are going to the community? What happened to the people who are going to the community? I want for Liberians who live in our country, take your camera, go in a different community and show it. And show it. Go in the community you live and show it. Even if you don't live there, go show it. Let we see it. And you say the president doing what? You're going to a different community. And you're bringing that video so we can see it. If that video will make you to go to bed sound, or it will make you to feel that, wow, I need to do something. I need to do something. The people who support you, we are to stay in America here. Send that man one election, they don't want to go back. They go down there, some of them that go there, when they spend 1 week, 2 weeks, they can't right back. But how can you say you support a man and you say the man is doing well, but you are not willing to go live there? You are not willing to go live there. Wow. You are not willing to go live there. When President Trump was elected president in the country, many Americans who did not appreciate his leadership, they went to Canada to live. After Mr. Trump was put out of office, the people came right back to their country here. But the people who believe in Trump, they were living here. All right? Somebody says, so you guys are not talking about the soup student that stormed AME campus today? Well, I don't know whether the bigger platform talking about it, but what I'm talking about here is the reason that we stop these students from going on campus to attack. You see, because Mr. Weir does not have control over the country. The University of Liberia is supported by the government in some ways because they pay the teacher's salary. And the professor's salary, and those professors and teachers assistant on that campus are not being given the tools to actually keep those students at bay. And that's why we're having all these things that are happening today. Because the president does not know how to run an effective country. So the civil society, what you see, if that is true, the civil society need to get involved. Put the two student or the group down. Tell them this is your future. Why are you destroying your future when the president here doesn't have time for you? Those are things we need to do. Do you think students should leave another camp, leave their campus and go another campus to go attack other students? No. Because when you got a weak government in the country, it leaves with the fact that everyone seems to be in charge of what they want to do, but there's nobody in control. So people jumping here and there, they know that Joe Weir does not have what it takes to be a leader in our country. So they go around and do anything and everything. And that's why when we speak about the issue, one of the issues in regards to what you just said is the issue of maintaining discipline in our society. When we start to provide good coaching and counseling to young students about their right and what the ramification will be by doing the right thing, you will not find these students. These students need somebody who will talk to them. They are human beings. They can understand. They got issue. But the problem there is nobody listens to their issue. Joe, we are feel that these students are not part of the country decision-making process, which is wrong. Every citizen in that country should be listened to because they are all part of that country and they all want the best from that country. And that includes the Student Unification Party. The Student Unification Party, yes, I'm blaming the president because he is the president of the country, Mr. Alfred Nimler. Who you think Joe Weah is? Why I can't blame you, Mr. Nimler? Because you did not take the oath of the office to serve and protect the people of Liberia. You think the Constitution that George Weah told, you think he understood that? I sovereignly swear that I will support and conscientiously do X, Y, and Z, the office of the country, so help me God. You see, that's a lack of understanding that some of you guys don't have. That's a lack of understanding some of you guys don't have. We are all governed by the Constitution of that country. And if the president, who is the first citizen of that country, say, yes, I am the first citizen of the country, I am the first executive president of this country, that I will uphold the Constitution. If another group of students go and attack another person, it is the constitutional violation of those group of people, right? And who is in charge to make sure that it don't happen to his or her fellow Liberian? The president in the country. The president in the country. This is not 1990 days where you have warring faction here, beating people doing this. No. We are in a democratic country that we have leaders in place, we have policies in place. So as head of the protector now of the Constitution, he should authorize the justice minister and say, you know what, something happened because our democracy operates on 4 pillars. 1 is freedom, 2, total representation, 3, justice, and then 4, equality. So where is it? Where is the justice? Justice can go in there and break things down and begin to investigate as to what happened, what it caused, and why it happened. But the president don't have the idea. Yeah, if the opposition win, which I believe they will win, I will come to Liberia. I will come to Liberia and open my consultant firm and be able to help young Liberians. I'm not coming there for job. I'm not coming there for a job. I'm coming there to be able to help young Liberians build their skills. It's something that Joe Weah doesn't understand because he's not so smart. You see the United States government here? Many people in every government, whether Republican, Democrat, they are not hired by the government. They provide consultancy. They provide consultancy. That take away the burden of the government. So if we are if Cummings win this election, which he will, I will come to Liberia and be able to what? To invest. To invest. To invest. Invest into skills that will help young people. There are a lot of opportunity coming right now. But we need to prepare our young people. Our young people are not prepared. You see, the summit that is coming to Africa, the African summit, the Chinese are going across Africa. They are engaging in their own strategy to gain wealth from the people of Africa. Right now, there you go. Yeah, sorry for the confusion there. I don't think you will go to Liberia anytime soon. Well, that's your own thinking. Because I'm coming to Liberia because Joe Weah will be defeated, Mr. Nimler. If you think your crew president going to stay over there forever, no. Joe Weah not going to stay over there forever, Mr. Nimler. Joe Weah will leave that place next year. Yes. So if you think your feeling going to trample over the people suffering, you're wasting your time. So with that limited mind, because you feel that only you should enjoy the country. All right? Only you should enjoy the country. You and your fellow Joe Weah crew people then should enjoy the country. But the other rest of the people should not enjoy the country. That is the same mentality that Samuel Kanyando had. All right? You think that Joe Weah is doing anything better? No. Joe Weah only doing things for you. That's why you are feeling complacent like that. That's why you're feeling like that. The man doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing for the people of Liberia. Absolutely nothing. So you can't sit down here. A good for nothing man. Good for nothing individual. Joe Weah will be kicked out of office. Yes. Come next year election, Joe Weah is done. I tell you that one right now. He's done. We will continue to push that message. Yes, we will continue to push that message because Joe Weah is nothing Nothing but a complete good for nothing individual that was given a power that he doesn't even deserve to have. And with that kind of man, with that kind of idea, no, he's not going to be over there for the next 6 years. The people of Liberia will vote in other office. And if George Weah tried to steal that election, he is going to jail. George Weah tried to steal that election, he's going to jail. So let me tell you now, go and tell him, hey, Mr. Weah tried to steal that election, he's going to jail. Yes, he is going to jail. Because nobody going to take George Weah for a word to say, oh, something wrong. Yes. So go and tell George Weah, when he steal that election, he's going to jail. And he's not coming back. Yes. He will go to jail and he will not come back to see whatever he has stolen from the Liberian people. So let him just accept his fate when he lose and just move on with life. Because he has proven to be very, very incompetent, good for nothing individual that don't even care about the plight of the Liberian people. Because that's who he is. A good for nothing president as he claimed to be. He thought the president position was just something where you just come, you show yourself, you brag and things like that. No. But this guy has failed the Liberian people. Nothing George Weah has shown to you. Every one of you gotta support George Weah. You can't hear somebody ask you, give me one deliverable that George Weah has done. Show me George Weah roadmap. Show me George Weah. George Weah is so incompetent that his failure is himself. He failed himself. He failed himself. If I were him, I would be resigning now. And I think George Weah can do himself a great favor, or one of the greatest favor, to just tell Liberian people, you know what, I'm not going to be running again. I'm going to resign. I will leave it with Joel Howard Taylor. I think that will be one of the biggest days. But you know what? He afraid. George Weah is afraid. He thinks that when he leave office, the people will arrest him. Yes, he thinks so. But we'll go for him. We will go for him. Every money that George Weah is taking from that country, we will go for him. And we'll bring him to justice. He will come to justice. George Weah will face justice by allowing Nathaniel McGill to go out and start abusing our people. They treating our people as if to say that the people got no right in our country. They know the people are not educated to understand our electoral process. Going there telling people, even if I steal money and put it here and pay house here. So that's what they're doing. They are all stealing and building houses over there. That's what they're doing. Nathaniel McGill built mausoleum to bury his man in. When Nathaniel McGill father passed away, when he was not in government, why didn't he build mausoleum for his father? But because he in government, his man died, then he go build mausoleum. Alright? You see the kind of abuse of power? Man, that Segu Kalasco there, who nobody knew, getting out to the city, going to build church. What is the history of Segu Kalasco earning money to go and build a church? And see, all of them in our country, nothing they're doing. Absolutely nothing. This George Weah man will be voted out of office. Yes. He will be voted out of office. He doesn't deserve even a day after 2023 election. When he get defeated that day, he need to pack his load and go. We will not stop talking. Every day we will talk. The country called Liberia, if you really want to see Liberia on the map, no matter where you live, you better start fighting for the soul of that country. You better think Cummings first. The thing you're playing with here, you see how the war, I remember when that war was coming in Liberia in 1989. There were many people saying, oh, the rebel just come, they walk to Monrovia, they take two from there, and then they carry two, and then they walk over. You see the level of destruction the country has caused from that, the country has received from that war. You think that we are men is in our country interest. And you want to take it for granted. When they men finish destroying our country, some of you guys will be in the nursing home sitting down there and they will still telling that they still trying to fix that country. Because one of the most dangerous things that George Weah is doing to that country is denying the young people education. A nation cannot prosper without people with education. But the man ain't get for damn. Georgia is treating Liberia if to say that he had a conflict or some type of grudge for Liberia. So he only there to get what he can get and pack it low. And with the people who supporting him on the side, along they getting their peanut money, they will come on one platform or another. But our people are suffering. Our people are suffering. And the only way that suffering will be somehow recognized, and the only way the suffering will stop is by us preaching this message. It's by us preaching this message. In the Bible, Old Testament, when Noah came, was telling the people there will be some type of heavy windstorm coming, the people tend to overlook that. I'm telling you now, the destruction that Georgia man is planning to do is going to go a long way. And if we don't pay attention to what I'm telling you guys will be working in the country here, feeding your people back home. You got to feed them, and then you also got to find a way for them to go to school, which is very, very bad. Which is very, very bad. So you can't do that. Call your people every day. Talk to them. 6 years, it's not something to play with. 6 years. There are a lot of things that you can get out of 6 years. You see the president first year in office, he built all the condominiums, right? What do you think he's going to do next? If the people made that mistake and gain that opportunity, he's going to care less. He's going to look you in the face. He's going to look me in the face and say, you know what? All that thing you told you last time, anybody with me president, I can do whatever I want to do. And he will be right. But guess what? The people that did not get the message that some of us are talking about here, they will be coming to you. You will start to see them bringing their children on their lap with some kind of be better, Sonny. And somebody there with a small camera. Man, what happened to your child? Oh, my child dead, my child died. And then you're going to see the whole thing repeating itself again for another 6 more years. And these are things you need to focus on. These are things you need to focus on. Thank you very much, Power. Every little time you get, call your friends then. Tell them the election is about your future. This election is about your future. By the time we hit the year 2030, when countries around the world go into different countries in Africa and telling the people, say, we are going to open this center in Ghana. We are going to open the other center in Sierra Leone. We are going to open the other center in the Ivory Coast, in Guinea. And then you start to ask yourself, but what happened? They can't come to Liberia. Well, this is the time now that we need to make the people aware that by the year 2030, the workforce on this continent and in this world, let's just say in the world, the workforce in this world will be focused on Africa. The population of Africa is getting younger every day. There are studies upon studies that have shown that Africa will be the breeding ground for employment of young people. And the only way that Liberia can compete is to have a leader. Mr. Cummings is saying that part of his plan is infrastructure and internet. You can be where in Bokonje, get your lay planting farm over there. Along there's electricity, internet, you can start selling things online. People will be shipping it for you. And you become your own CEO. You think Joe, we are thinking about those things? No. Joe, we ain't about them. He's some playing football. He get money. Joe, we are saying get money. You think he thinking about that? No. How often do you see Cloud we are going around and talking about the soul of the people? Cloud we don't give about them. Cloud we are got the brother from Jamaica or in our president there telling the whole players out and getting diamond and stuff like that, getting gold. By the time they finish, they leave in our country empty. What you can do? Nothing. And guess what? You will be the default ATM for them. They will call you. They will call you. You will see some condition, you will feel sorry. And then you have to share your little money. Because you're not pushing the message. Coming one cannot do it. We all need to get together. The very people who support the we are today, they will look at the fellow Liberian and say, look at that one, why your opposition, why you do nothing with your life. I mean, you come into now. That's what they will say. But they will not tell them, say, I supported the wrong person and I benefited from that. And the person who I supported did not provide for you the opportunity for you to be somebody. But they will squarely put the blame on them. Because that's how many of us are who support the wrong thing. And you know yourself. So we'll do all the talking. But in the end, the people got to make that choice. But we want to make sure that they get the message. Because I'm telling you, 6 years to the wrong person, I don't want to see it. The people need to get that message. 6 years after what you are just seeing, and then you're going to select, go get the person 6 more years. You know what's going to happen to that country? They say when water get dry, feed each fish. The men got no idea. The international community know that Georgia is not fit to do anything. And they're only hoping on the Liberian to take that man out of office. The man got no contact. Even the people who play football with him. When last year, I saw the people coming to the country there to say, you know what, we're coming, we are your friends. We're coming to open some kind of little factory for your people to be working. All the football that Georgia play in Europe, have you seen one of his contact coming to Liberia? None. 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 You haven't seen one coming to Joshua. Because the people know who he is. He never built bridges while he was in Europe. He never connected to investors while he was in Europe. And he doesn't have the means to go to these people. So you need to focus on the issue. The election is going to solve the following problem. The main issue in the country, and that is the high unemployment rate. There are many people in our country that are not working. That's why you see today, a guy will be in your 30, you tell say I'm a youth. Because most of the guys in Liberia that never worked before, their mind telling them that they're still young. Until they start working, that's when they feel that they have become responsible. But the guy will be 45 years, he tells them, I'm a youth in the time here. Why you think he's saying that? Because he never worked in his life. He never earned a paycheck. So he sees himself as a child who still lives with their parents. Because he hasn't earned a job, he never worked, so he calls himself youth. But you and I know, at that age, he can even become a grandfather or a grandmother. But they don't think that way. And then you want to go sit and go get somebody, another says here, the people need to hear what they need to hear to make that informed decision. So guys, I got to go. I'm not going to be live tonight. We'll play some past videos.
African Unity or OAU, now the African Union or AU, the Economic Community of West African States or ECOWAS, and the Mana River Union or MRU, and the list goes on and on. We should be proud, and I congratulate us Liberians for our contributions and endurance over the last 174 years. Unfortunately, and despite our resilience, tenacity, and hard work, the conditions Liberians are living through do not reflect the age of our country. We have not managed ourselves and our resources as well as we could. We have not been as accountable to each other as we could. We have not invested as we should in building strong human and institutional capacities. And of course, we have not invested in improving systems and processes for continued democratic governance and guaranteeing Liberia remains an independent and inclusively developed nation. As a result,
Too many Liberians are very poor. Common and treatable illnesses continue to kill too many of our women and children. We are losing too many to the inadequacies and lapses of a broken system every day. May we now have a moment of silence for the many who have lost their lives to COVID and the recent ship that sunk on its way to Maryland. As we observe 174 years, the reality of the challenges faced by our people is clear. The moral compass of our society is broken. Too many of our young people are unemployed, and for some are unemployable. The cost of living is unbearable, forcing too many proud Liberians to become beggars. Corruption is pervasive. In distributing the nation's wealth, a few have continued to receive more than they need, while the many who desperately need more have continued to be given too little. Liberia is experiencing the worst economic conditions in a decade, with continued dismal performance in the key macroeconomic indicators, such as real gross domestic product, or GDP. Unemployment and inflation all continue to be unacceptable. For example, according to the International Monetary Fund, in 2019 and 2020, real GDP recorded negative growth of 2.5% and 3% respectively. Of course, we can blame the COVID-19 pandemic, but mismanagement, lack of accountability, poor planning, and corruption have continued to haunt the administration of our government. Some of our leaders continue to invest themselves in dividing Liberians, mainly along the line of tribe, religion, gender, and political association. Meanwhile, across all Liberian tribes, religions, and political parties, the living standards have continued to worsen. According to the World Bank's latest statistics, Liberia's 2020 real GDP per capita, which measures living standard, is the lowest it has been in a decade. In the United Nations Development Program Human Development Index report, Liberia was ranked 175 out of 189 countries in 2019. Things are bad for everybody, and it is only getting worse. Unemployment is high. Annual inflation is averaging over 20% in the last 3 years, seriously reducing the purchasing power of Liberians, particularly those who cannot afford it. In April of 2021, the Central Bank of Liberia released its monthly economic review, which indicates that Liberian dollars in circulation is 22.6 billion. Out of this amount, 20.8 billion, or 92%, represents currency outside the banks. There is only one logical explanation for this. People do not trust the banking system. Confidence is low. This is the price we have to pay when we politicize the banking system and corrupt it into systemic and other administrative failures.
In the world, and yet our prices are the highest. The taxes, the taxes the government add to every gallon of fuel is what's driving some of the price increase of the gasoline. So if this government really cares for people, they will reduce the taxes on every gallon of gasoline to try to take some of the pressure off. So the price will not go up as much as high as it has. Is one of the reasons why. Yes, the price of fuel is going up around the world. You know, I like to be fair and to tell the truth. But then the taxes the government adds is also increasing the burden on our Liberian people. And if they can, they will reduce those taxes on the fuel to help take the pressure of our people, our country. And this is what our Cummings administration will do, will reduce the taxes.
How do you intend, if you reduce the taxes, you become more donor dependent?
No, then because we stop the stealing.
Oh, I mean, we stop the stealing.
We stop the corruption. We stop the stealing.
How the stealing help to do all we getting all where we are today?
So this thing called corruption or stealing, because corruption makes it sound good. Look, it's been with our country for a long time. This government is not the first government to steal, but this government is stealing more than any other government we know, and that's the problem. And if we're gonna fix Liberia, you know, if you got a bucket. And the bucket got a hole, and every time you put water in the bucket, the bucket can't get full, it leaks. You gotta plug the hole, you gotta fix the hole. And that leaky bucket, that hole is the stealing, it's the corruption, right? So we gotta stop the stealing, we gotta plug the bucket hole, and then we can take that money to help develop the country, to make sure we're not too dependent on the donors, to make sure we don't have to increase taxes on gasoline. And so that's one of the primary ways we'll be able to do that, is to stop the stealing of the Liberian people money and resources.
And I listen to your statement often, and you say your attack here is not opposition against opposition, is to bring wear down 2023. How strong are you committed to an opposition collaboration, despite the CPP and Rickman Road and Mahalet to where you are today?
Well, you know, I just want to remind the Liberian people listen to my voice, that, you know, they blame me for the CPP. They say I will break out the CPP. I have not left the CPP. We are committed.
So in a nutshell,
but let me finish now. So we are committed to unify our country, to unify our people. That's why I started the interview by saying, you don't choose your tribe, you don't choose whether you're male or woman, you don't choose the religion you're born into, you don't choose your age, you don't choose the country you're born into. Those are not choices. Those things should not divide us. And so my message is one of unification, of let's work together, not just to win the presidency, but that's how we should govern, so that everybody can put a hand in this bowl of rice. We grow this bowl of rice, and that's the way to not only win, but to govern the country. And that's what we will do. God bless us to lead our country.
So I was trying to make the follow-up question, that it means all what people are saying, there is still CPP, because other people think that there's no more CPP. The little Liberian understand think that there's no more CPP.
No, good question, thank you.
Yeah.
The CPP still exists, I want to say. There were 4 parties in the CPP, 2 left, 2 are still there. And we'll bring other parties into the CPP. That's why I use the example. You know, the CPP was the car that started in Kakata. That car broke down in Mount Barclay. But we still continue our journey to Monrovia, and we'll just fix the CPP, we'll retool it, we'll bring other political parties, and we'll continue our journey to Monrovia to restore good governance, to restore economic growth, to reduce the suffering, the hardship of Liberian people. That's what the CPP is about, and we'll continue to do
that. So as to speak, Honorable Alexander Benedict Cummings, if you were to look at the country the way it's structured, how do you intend to engage the process 2023?
So, you know, we'll do many things to try to change our country come 2023. And, you know, the election is 2023, but 2024 is when the inauguration, when we take over. So these are some of the things we'll do. If God bless us with the opportunity to serve our country, to serve our people as leader. One, we will make sure we start a national youth service program to engage our young people more, to try to create jobs for them. We'll make sure, and the government, the president promised this. I don't think he has done it, but he should do it. But anyway, if he doesn't do it, we will do it, to provide credit financing to our market women, to our Liberian businesses, so they can grow their businesses, they can create jobs. We will make sure that everything we buy, we procure. The government buys a lot of things. We'll make sure we buy it from Liberian businesses. We'll ask the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Auditing Commission, all of these integrity institutions, we'll ask them to do an audit of what we're inheriting, so Liberian people can know what we're inheriting. These are some examples of what we'll do on day one. But we'll also look at how the country is organized, and we'll look to decentralizing. You know, we've been organized this way. Everything it goes to Monrovia.
Yeah.
And I say Monrovia is not Liberia. And we've been organized this centralized way. We would change it around, we'll decentralize. We'll develop Liberia from the bottom up. We have tried to do it from the top down. It really hasn't worked. Now we'll try a different way. We'll try to develop Liberia from the bottom up. And so those are the things, some of the things we'll do different to change the outcome, to change the country. As I said, you can't keep doing the same and expect different results. So those are the changes we'll make to make sure we're moving our country forward.
Is there anything you regret in relation to the way things went in the CPP?
I got a lot of lessons. I learned a lot from this experience in the CPP. I have no regret being one of the people to form the CPP. No regret there. But a lot of lessons learned from this experience. I learned a lot about, you know, people I thought were friends, colleagues. I learned perhaps to be a little less trusting. But so lots of lessons. You know, going forward, as we rebuild the CPP, as we fix it, we'll fix it in a different way. We'll make sure the framework agreement is constructed differently from the past. So lots of learnings from this experience. But you know, you live and learn. And I often say the minute you stop learning, that's when it's time for you to die. Okay. That's when you become a bad leader. When you're not willing to listen, to learn. And so we learn from this experience, but we're determined to keep going forward, to bring other Liberians with us. Again, this movement for real change is what I'm excited about in the future.
What's your relationship with Bwaka and you?
Right now, I wouldn't say I have a relationship with either one of them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know them, they know me, we're in the CPP together. They left the CPP, they lied on me, you know, they try to disparage me, to, you know, disparage my character. But, you know, it's okay. As I said, we look forward, we look ahead. You cannot do, Emmanuel, you cannot do anything about what happened 30 seconds ago. You can learn from it,
learn from it,
but you can't change it, you can't do anything about it, right? But you can do something about what happens now and in the future. So I'm focusing on what's happening now and in the future. And that is my focus. So we learn from the past, but we focus on the future.
Before we open the phone line, maybe to interact with one or two persons before we conclude the interview, I was listening to Spoon Talk last evening. I listened to one elder, and Elder Phillips. He said Cummings was a good man, but Cummings had changed. What had changed you?
Yeah, look, you need to ask him, because he said I changed. I have not changed. You know, there's in Shakespeare, there's a saying about betrayal. Et tu Brutus, and you Brutus. Yeah. Right? And so, look, Elder Phillips has the right to his opinion, to say what he wants. Disappointing. In some ways, not too surprising. You know, I know people better than they think I do. I watch, observe. So it's not too shocking, to be honest, what he's doing, how he's turned out. But it's okay. You know, again, we look ahead, we look forward, we live and learn. That more people are joining us and will join us because of who we are. But The answer to that question, you need to ask him. I don't believe I've changed. I'm the same person.
Did you regret leaving because he said you were one of those?
No, I don't. Look, everybody has a right to leave. I don't regret.
You should be
Adam Phillips, I don't regret him leaving at all. He was bringing a lot of value. So, it's okay. I don't wish him ill. I don't wish any Liberian ill. I wish everybody well. And he decided to leave, and it's okay. We'll get others to lead the Elder Council, and we'll move forward as a political party. Alfred and his team have joined. There's some elders that came from the ALP. We'll all come together and we'll move forward as a political institution.
Okay, you're listening to the radio, and we have a conversation with Honorable Alexander Benedict Cummings. He's our guest. We'll take almost 3 calls. Yeah, so you can call us on 0778 815 we're not taking much calls. But you can just to have an interaction with the public. So you keep a calls coming to 0778 815 and be live on the radio. Or you can follow us live on Classic FM Liberia, our live Facebook page as well. And you can join the conversation and follow from there. Yeah, so let's start to take a call on 0778 815 858. Good afternoon. Is that what's your name?
My name is Walker Kerry. I'm calling from the main field of Kakata. We are religiously monitoring the discourse of the program of Honorable Alexander B. Cummings.
Quickly go ahead, ask a question or anything you want to.
My question to ANC political leader Honorable Alexander B. Cummings is bent on reconciling the people of Liberia if assume the mantle of responsibility.
Please go straight. We don't have the loss of time.
Yeah, I just want to ask him what strategy, what means is he using to carry on his reconciliation? Thank you.
A strategy for reconciling Liberia. Okay. 0778 815 858. The ANC political leader of the year. You can ask. Just be brief. Call your name and go straight to the point. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Liva Patient. I'm from the Ministry of Southern.
Yeah, Liva.
Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Cummings, I just want to go quickly to my point and ask this question. I want to know if you are now fortunate to go to the runner-up in 2023. If Dorcas and we are go for runner-up, who will you support? Thank you.
No question. 0778 815 858. Let's talk to this caller. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, quickly. What's your name? Where you come from?
I'm Alex Rogers. I call you from my go.
Yeah, welcome, Alex. Go ask your question.
Let me first comment your studio guest, the impression of Honorable Cummings for being very mature at the level of CPD. One of the internal wrangling, he was able to ensure that we still within the CPP and maintain, the leaders of the CPP. Quickly, let me also comment Chairman Jebo, the former chairman of the All Liberia Party, for being very fast-started, for being very calculated to ensure that he becomes a member of the Alternative National Congress. Though I'm not a member, but he is one person who has served this country. The records are there. He is one person who has been able to ensure that the legacy of the ALP is being maintained. Equally so, we want to say, Chairman Jebo, congratulations for being part of the Alternative National Congress. And as you have gone to that party, we also hope that you will work with the police to ensure that the best of the ANC individual in the Mighty Country. Thank you.
Thank you. 0778 815 858. We'll add 3 more just to make it 6. Yeah, so we don't balance it. Hope we're female can call.
Hello?
Hello?
No, thank you.
Quick.
I think this is Vani M. Cooper, the chairman of the CDC Forces of my chapter.
Yeah.
And I thank you for the show this afternoon. And the first question I have for Mr. Cummings, I want you to please tell the Liberian people, after he have disorganized the
No.
CPP.
Go to Equity.
After he had disorganized the CPP, how is he going to repel the CPP? Does he have any plan? Is there any plan to reorganize the CPP?
Thank you. One question at a time. How does he wish to reorganize the CPP? Hello?
Good morning, my Ziegler, and good morning to the political leader of ANC.
Yeah.
My name is Edmund Hammer, and calling for Cal City this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me appreciate the ANC leader by coming to physical and all the young people have pledged and support to him. On the Cummings, if you are paying this government for 5 years up to present, do you think what would be the great plan of the government when it comes to health, education, etc., etc.? Thank you.
Okay. One more call, then we close it. One more call. Yeah, so one more call. Let's talk to this person. Hello?
Yes, good evening, Manager Ziegler. Good evening to the peace-loving people of Marjorie County. This is Dan Ravers, joining from my own district for residents. Thank you so much. Let me go straight to the point. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so let me appreciate the honorable man in studio, but he elaborated on the issue of corruption, how he's going to work to ensure that corruption be eradicated from our country.
Minimized.
Minimized from our country, and he talked about our will. So I show from an youth artist grass corruption organization. So what is he doing now to ensure that corruption, when you get into power, corruption will be minimized in our country? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry, we don't have the luxury of time, so let's go back to Honorable Cummings.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I wish I had more time, but we'll come back and spend more time.
Yeah, we'll have to
spend a full hour. So let me start with Walker, who I think
Kerry. Yeah.
You asked about reconciliation.
Yeah. How do you intend?
Yeah. Look, it's my goal. First of all, sometimes you need to let some time pass to sort of heal all of the wounds and hurts and that kind of stuff. But as I said, my goal is to not focus on the past, to focus on the future. And anybody who wants to serve our country as leader, cannot and should not hold grudges, and should always work towards reconciling, not just with the opposition. I got nothing against seditions. They are Liberians. I disagree with it. The choice of who they elected to lead our country based on his performance, I got nothing against the president either. But if we are fortunate to get a chance to lead our country, we'll be president for all Liberians. We're not whether you CDC, ANC, United Party, ALP, it doesn't matter. UPP, Liberty, it doesn't matter. So the goal is to make sure we unify our country, we reconcile our country. We'll figure out how we do that specifically. Question about who I will support in a second round if I'm not there. Let me say to, I think it was Levi.
Levi, yeah.
We even played the first game yet, and you already planning to lose. You go into the county meet. County meet will be in December. If Mark Gibby practicing, they play the first game here, Arsenal, who they will support between Monserrata and Nima. The Mangibi people will support Mangibi. You gotta believe you will win. You gotta believe you'll be successful. So I don't spend my time not believing in my supporters, in myself. I believe Liberian people will make the right decision. They will make the right choice. And I believe I will be, if not win in the first round, we'll be in the second round. But I can't start planning already. We play the first game here, the first voting cast that they already planning to lose. And as Liberians, not just Levi, we should not have this mentality. It's a successful business. Yeah, try it. Plan to win. Plan for success. If it doesn't happen, then you can revisit. You can do something else. But don't go into the tournament planning to lose already, which is what Levi is asking about. Alex, who called. By the way, Alex is a great name. I'm just joking. My name is Alex too. But I want to thank Alex for his comments, for his support. Alex, we're We appreciate you. Vani from the CDC. Vani, look again, I respect all Liberians. Apparently you chair the CDC here, but we should all be truthful, right? And make truthful statements. And let's compete based on merit. Let's compete based on facts. And when you make statement, oh, you disorganize the CPP, that is not true. You know that is not true. I didn't leave the CPP. The United Party left the CPP. The ALP left the CPP. We are still in the CPP. We're in the CPP with the Liberty Party and the ANC. So don't make those kind of statements because it's not true. And let's just compete based on the merit and based on the facts, and not based on propaganda. There's this feeling that political is a dirty game and any means justify the ends. That's not how we should be politicking. That's not how we change Liberia with that mentality and mindset. Edmund asked for the grade to grade the GOL. What I say is that the Liberian people will grade the government of Liberia. The Liberian people will grade CDC government. What I know is Liberians are worse off today than they were before President Weah became president. Liberians are suffering more today. They're struggling more today. Civil servants are being paid less today than they were before. Civil servants are not being paid as consistently as they were before. That means teachers. That means healthcare workers. That means other people that work in government. That means the military. Their pay have been reduced. They're not getting paid as frequently. So they will be the one to judge, to grade the president when we go to elections in October 2023. And I know they will give him the right grade, and again, they will make President Weah a one-term president. And then Ben asked about corruption.
Why are you talking in your personal life to friends?
Well, in my personal life, I am not corrupt. So look, I've had the blessings as a Liberian who grew up in Point 4 and Fiamma, went to CFA, I went to demonstration school, government school, who parents start very modest means. I had tremendous success internationally. I lived and worked in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Great Britain, the United Kingdom, in the USA. And there is no centilla of any accusation about any stealing, any corruption, in any way, shape, or form. So they said, it's a saying, the best way to predict, the best way to tell how somebody will behave in the future, or the best way to tell how somebody will perform, how well they will do in the future, is what they've done in the past. So you look at my past record in terms of performance, delivery, managing large, complex organizations, over $1 billion budget and no stealing, that should give you a good example of what will happen in the future. If you're a good teacher today, you'll be a good teacher tomorrow. If you're a good nurse, a good doctor, a good carpenter, a good mason, a good yana boy, you hustle, you will be good and even better tomorrow. If you're bad today, if you're a rogue today, chances are you'll be a rogue in the future. So what I'm doing today, what I've done is protect my integrity. That's why this accusation they made against me was so hurtful. Because for almost 40 years, we had no issues on integrity, and then they try to just dirty us. But again, Emmanuel, thank you for the chance to speak to your audience. We'll come back and we'll spend at least an hour. Most of that time we'll take questions. I take any questions on any subject about anything, even the questions that are critical. Is okay, because that dialogue is what we need, so Liberians can get to know me better. So thank you for the chance to speak to you. And again, to the citizens of Mangibi, of Kakata, listen to my voice. We deserve a better Liberia. We can have a better Liberia. If we work together, if we work hard, if we make the sacrifices required, we can change our country. Liberia will not change because we say so, I say so, you say so, because we just talk. It will not change because we talk. Liberia will not change because we wish it to change. Liberia will change because we do the work and we make the sacrifice, and then everybody will benefit from our country. And that's what we offer our country and our people. So thank you to those listening to my voice. God bless the people of Kakata. God bless the people of Mangibi. And God bless the people of Liberia. Thank you very much. These failings, combined with non-performing loans of 26.9%, pose a high risk to the stability of the nation's financial sector. God has blessed Liberia with an abundance of natural wealth. Yet, at 174 years, we continue to beg for budgetary support, including from nations far less endowed than we are, and whose public officials and legislators are paid way less than ours. We are so rich, and yet we are so poor. Too many are suffering, with more than half of our population living on less than $1.25 a day. At least 7 out of every 10 Liberians in urban areas lack access to improved water, improved sanitation, sufficient living space, or housing durability. At 174 years, our infant mortality rate is about 84.6%, which means out of every 1,000 newborn Liberian, 846 will probably die before they reach 5 years old. At 174 years, only 1.3% of Liberians living in rural areas and 34% in urban areas have access to electricity. At 174 years, our nation still cannot feed itself. Somewhere between the Declaration of Independence and today, somewhere between the Declaration of Independence and today, we have lost our way. I know we do not need these grim statistics from the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and other international institutions to prove this point. Too many Liberians are actually living it every day in the worsening conditions of finding food, finding jobs, caring for their families, paying rent, paying school fees, paying hospital bills, and keeping a roof over their heads. At 174 years, Liberia is a difficult place. Regardless of who we prefer to blame, the truth is that we are all in serious trouble. At 174 years, Liberia does not need some of us. Our country needs all of us. At 174 years, our country does not need to settle more ethnic and political scores. It needs all of us to work together to achieve higher national goals. At 174, Liberia is too old to have hospitals with all the essential medicines and diagnostic equipment, while officials of our government with the responsibility to correct this are themselves seeking treatment in neighboring countries or farther abroad. If the government cannot fix the hospitals that the people they serve will go to when they are sick, no officials of government ought to seek medical checkups or treatment in a foreign hospital at government's expense. Therefore, fix the hospitals or use it as is. At 174, Liberia is too old to have its schools offer inferior and substandard education to our children. If the government cannot provide for the improvements of schools, then no official of the Liberian government ought to send their children to attend schools abroad. So fix the schools or send your children there too. Liberian children are amongst the brightest in the world. I see this every day at the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, or STEM, school funded by the Cummings Africa Foundation. Our children deserve more from the government to be better prepared to inherit the future and compete with children from other countries. At 174, Liberia is too old to continue to allow greed and corruption to substitute for the duty of public accountability and integrity. In both 2019 and 2020, Liberia recorded the lowest scores, representing high level of corruption, reported in the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index since 2008. Our country is too old to view honesty in public service as naivety, and to let ourselves continue to lose the duty of citizenship to partisanship. At 174, Liberia is too old to continue to allow our politics to be about tribes and religions. All of our tribes and experiences make us Liberians and must never be used to divide us. Instead, our politics must be about ideas. Ideas to improve and empower Liberians. Ideas to build our country and manage our wealth better. And ideas to finally end the things that have continued to keep us downward and backward. At 174, Liberia is too old to continue to run an economy that prioritizes others and gives Liberians no chance. Liberians cannot continue to be onlookers and bystanders to their development. At 174, Liberia is too old for the institutions of our government to continue to be weakened by lack of independence, sycophancy, as well as systemic leadership failures in transparency and accountability. We must end the imperial presidency. We must end the imperial presidency. At 174, Liberia is too old to be standing still, if not sliding backward. It is a national shame that we have fallen so far behind other nations we are assisting and inspired towards independence. Fellow Liberians, I know we cannot change our past, but we can create our future. We can create our future. To do this, we must change the mindset that got us to where we are today. We must adopt a new national perspective that Liberia belongs to all Liberians. All Liberians, therefore, owe a duty to the country to be good citizens, to work as hard and as honestly as we can to make Liberia better for ourselves and for our children. Good citizens do not steal from the people. Good citizens do not deceive the people. Good citizens stand for what is right for the country, even if they anger a few friends and political allies. The fundamental duty of citizenship, of belonging to Liberia and being called a Liberian citizen, is to build a better country. Obedience to the law is a duty of good citizenship. Good citizens take responsibility and accept the failures of getting it wrong, as they will accept the failures of getting it right. National leaders, political, religious, community, and traditional, must be more accountable to each other and to our country. Leaders must lead by good examples so that others are encouraged to follow. We will not grow until we allow our visions, expectations, dreams, and aspirations to also grow. Therefore, national goals must be bigger, allow us to set ourselves higher, and extend our collective endeavors further. In corporations or governments, there are no shortcuts to success. Irrespective of tribe, family name, the name of the village or city in which a Liberian is born, or the choice of one's religion, success in Liberia must come to belong to every Liberian who is willing and ready to work as hard as they can to achieve that success. Opportunities must be fair and equal and equally available to all Liberians. Too often in our country, we have let ourselves settle for what is easy and for what is not right. We have continued to choose the path of least resistance, which neither tests our collective resolve nor deepens our commitment to achieve the future we seek. Too often, we have wanted change, but have let ourselves be frightened by the hard work required to get the changes we seek. Too often, we have wanted change, but have let ourselves be frightened by the hard work required to get the changes we seek. Too often, we have allowed ourselves to compromise easily rather than set good precedents and examples for the future. Unfortunately, as we have continued to settle for the easier road and look for the shortest cuts, change has never happened. Promises of change have been repeatedly broken, and doubts about change ever happening now overwhelms us. We are overtaken by the negative self-fulfilling prophecies, looking to give up when we should be standing up. In our national conversations, I hear echoes about what we cannot do instead of what we can, must, and should be doing. Change is hard. It requires hard work and determination, and it takes time. But like success, change can happen. Liberia can be better. We can build a prosperous future for all. We can unite ourselves. We can expand our economy. We can grow the national budget. We can fight corruption. We can genuinely reconcile our fractured nation. We can heal the wounds and pull ourselves together. We can end the culture of impunity and establish a war and economic crimes court. We can fix our schools, fix our hospitals, fix our roads, so that the movement of people, goods, and services are unhindered throughout the year. We can feed ourselves and export our surplus to the world. We can manufacture and add value to what God has naturally blessed our country to have. We can electrify villages and towns just as we're trying to do in Monrovia, because Liberia is much more than Monrovia. Let there be no mistake. We will not do these things overnight, immediately, or magically. But we can do all of them if we work together collectively and took responsibility for the development of our country and refuse, for example, to sell our natural resources cheaply or for kickbacks, and refuse to engage in the mismanagement of our wealth. At 174, there may not be much to celebrate, but we can begin to write a new chapter in a journey of Liberia. The next chapter can inspire the world again, because we can let the new statistics reveal that although we fell, we refused to remain down. Although we fell, we refused to remain down. We stood up, and together we forged new roads and found different paths to a better and more prosperous future for all Liberians. That we became good to each other and treated each other with love and respect. That we put our love for country above our love for personalities. That we honored excellence and frowned on mediocrity. That we became a beacon of hope again. The next chapter can show that although we lost our way, we found a new way and found ourselves again. The new story of Liberia can be that although the Lone Star was lowered, together we raised it again for all the world to see. A new Liberia flying higher and shining brighter. Happy Independence Day, fellow Liberians. Please stay safe. May God continue to bless you, and may God bless Liberia. Thank you very much.
Okay, folks, that was the voice of the ANC political leader, Honorable Alexander B. Cummings.
It's very much painful, sorrowful indeed, like you listen to some of the business practitioners, business owners, stores owners expressing disappointment in this government, expressing disappointment in the Ministry of Public Works, which has been headed by the Minister Ruth Cummings, and expressing disappointment also in the Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Tamakoji and so forth. And they also allege, remember that they also allege that the Public Works Minister and Mayor Koji have a store, a business center in the Omega Belt, but we're going to dig behind that. Seriously, we're going to dig there. So those of you just joining, this is SKTV. We're coming to you live from Red Light, outside the nation's capital, Pinsville, where Governor of Liberia temporarily shut down store with no immediate date set aside.
For democratic change, consider Executive Order Number 65 issued by the President of Liberia as unconstitutional, arbitrary, and counterproductive. The CDC observes that the Executive Order cannot override or abrogate a provision of the Constitution except during a state of emergency, which no longer exists. Hence, her decision to issue an executive order suspending a kind of provision of our Constitution, example, the inalienable rights of the people of Monserrato, is evidence of her attempt to influence and manipulate the conduct of the 2014 Monserrato senatorial election in favor of her son, a candidate in the aforesaid mentioned process, Mr. Robert Allen Salif. Therefore, the CDC will not comply with this unconstitutional, sinister, and irrational Executive Order Number 65. The Congress for Democratic Change, believing the rule of law, will continue to adhere to the state order recently issued by the Supreme Court and look forward to its ruling. Meanwhile, the CDC and its allies remain in compliance with the decision of the Supreme Court order on elections. The President unconstitutional issuance of this so-called executive order does not only preempt the outcome of the said process, but also undermine the neutrality and credibility of the National Election Commission to conduct a free, fair, transparent, and democratic election throughout Liberia. Considering that this illegal executive order lacks legitimacy, hereby constituting a violation of the fundamental rights of the Liberian people, the CDC shields in the protection and dictates afforded by the organic laws of the state as enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, and refuses to conform to this executive order. Consequently, the Congress for Democratic Change views the President declared Executive Order Number 65, especially in its malicious emphasis on Monrovia and its environment, as a design mechanism to violate the rights of the people of Liberia as they look to participate in these elections. The mighty Congress for Democratic Change reassures its partisans that it will not and cannot, under any given circumstances, comply with an undemocratic, unlawful executive order that undermines the rule of law. Lastly, the leadership of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change remain cautioned on the prevalence of the Ebola virus disease in our country, and admonishes all Liberians to continue observing all safety measures and protocol as published by the Ministry of Health, the World Health Organization, the Center for Disease Control, and other health institutions.
Those who advise the president, attend the advice to the president as absolute mass stupidity. If you declare for election to be held, forgetting to know that Ebola is killing our people, and we accept because we want to go back to the democratic process. We don't want to short circuit our democracy. It is a clear manifestation that the president wants to turn power over to our son. Today, Darrell is being arrested. Darrell is being arrested today at police custody. What I'm saying to you is clear. That the president needs a better Liberia, we get a better Liberia. And we are clear to stand by our people. The vote of the people is the vote of God. Any attempt for the president to try the democracy, she herself will be running away like Blaise Compaoré. And we are prepared for that. And look, the consequences thereof is because she needs to turn power over. And we are clear about that. The president must turn power over because she has tried to rule out the people of Liberia. Your name is
Ebola. So all stay with caution. Sure. Take care of yourselves. God bless you. Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba.
The government that this government claims to be, to have asked the legislature to pass their identical letter is anti-democratic. And let me tell you, you will bring the police, you will bring the PSU to guard the legislature. But an attempt for the legislature to pass their bill, we will politically quarantine the legislature. All of them have a district. An attempt to see them in a district, we will quarantine them. We say no to this letter, it's anti-democratic, they will be thrown away.
We have come I mean, it's use of power. She said she shouldn't come here. She was say it is police brutality. We will engage them. The executive authority is going to do that.
You just said you are willing to challenge the police and help us.
The constitution you want to violate? No, my man. Don't do that. Nobody disturbing here, but when I go now, nobody disturbing here. No person to your son here. You have to call it. Go phone and lady that I saw that picture. So bleeding the last time.
Sir,
hey, wrong. So we from I think it is not. I think the Eddie, let's come on they use them to put on the people.
When the masses of the people trying to feel insecure, they will move into history, they will set the record straight, they will quarantine their lawmakers for ensuring that such bogus a policy today is being passed. Mind you now, the president have a deep fear with Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. Let me say to you clearly, Article 1 is clear. The president is thinking politically. The president reliance on Article 1 is not because of elections. We are quite conscious about that. The president reliance about Article 1 is on the basis of the president is afraid. She's afraid that the magistrate want them moving to human history. Amanda, figure away to. Yo, we'll share the history straight. Yo. I want to be very clear to elaborate.
Firstly, let me begin by appreciating each and every member of the Democratic Tent and the Liberian people who stood on our side of justice, ensuring that this Macabeth regime who tried to break the spirit of conscious revolutionaries. In prison, when I was invited by the Liberian National Police, they misconstrued the information and said I was arrested. I want to let the Liberian people to be informed at no point in time that I ever got arrested. On Monday, last week Monday, I walked at the National Police Headquarters being accompanied by Honorable Thomas Fowler. I was being made to know that I was invited for questioning for an alleged idea, circumstances at the CDC headquarters. Unfortunately for me, when I get at the national headquarters of the police, I witnessed a conspiracy that did not give me an opportunity to be questioned, that did not give me an opportunity to make a statement, but instead I was incarcerated when my lawyer requested for my person. He refused to tell me what my lawyer. I was placed behind bar with armed robbers, those who were charged for armed robbery. In fact, on a chroma. spoke to an alleged armed robber by the name of Ben Laden. He's currently in prison. He said to me he can testify. That man was being given $50 to... Madam Saliba said as a proven TRC convicted criminal needs to be in jail. So she needs to indict herself first and not Mandela. The Free Mandela campaign have just begun. We will do this every day until Mandela is released. So we are now going to join the conscious men, the militants assembled on the premises, represented by the Abundance Police Unit of the Liberian National Police, that is higher without pay, was shotgun-driven police force, that is preventing mass assembly. So we just want to let the press know today is day one. And for us, that's our job. We will not rent on the Mandela is free. Whether it's Maba Malu, or Rat Brown, or Abakaros Moses Gray, or Johnson Baikbe, or Senator George Manya Weir, we will remain standing with Mandela Patrick.
Ambassador, back to this point.
Well, I am the Peace Ambassador of the Republic of Liberia. The press did not appoint me, and the press did not force me to serve my people. I'm serving my people because of the people that I love and the people that I love. If I find a need to resign, if I don't see a fit to continue on this job, I will do so with respect.
But you have been declared as a candidate in the upcoming election. Which is your post?
Well, definitely, I'm sure there's rules and regulations that bar people that in government positions. And I understand that most of my friends are taking their positions, and we will review my position, and then I will get back to the press in the next 72
What is your final comment to the people of Liberia on this issue?
Well, I want the police to understand that sedition are also Liberian. We are citizens, and people will not just accuse our citizens or our partisans and then they go to jail. That is wrong. That is not the civility we are looking for.
Thank you so much.
Again, Liberia must again evaluate people that are in those positions. We have had war in this country, and many people have took part in brutality, rebel leaders and all that. Those people are in police, they are in how they call it. The only reason they are in police for them to change. What I'm saying.
Mr. George, what will be said? No interview. What would the Get that race man.
What do you think about reconciliation in Liberia and prosecution of people who may have committed atrocities?
I think reconciliation is okay. Prosecution is foolishness. You know what? Why did they choose TRC? Why did they choose TRC? After that, I saw Africa. I was not in Ghana. They went to Ghana, and the international community put before Liberia, World Crown Code, and TRC. And they choose TRC. So why do you want TRC to metamorphose into World Crown Code? You have to first pass a law, remove the TRC, and bring in World Crown Code, and go back again, collecting intelligence, information about people. Because you cannot just accuse people. You have to have facts.
Let me also ask you a tricky question. I read that there's an FBI investigation going on about presumed murder.
Don't worry about that.
Do you think it's politically motivated?
Political. I know the whole detail. I know everything. Don't worry about that.
But how is it politically motivated? Like, do you think that really the United States try to interfere in the elections?
I would not answer that because it's rubbish. I know who is the architect. The very architect of the propaganda invited me to Ghana. Dr. Allen White.
The former...
Dr. Allen White, who was recruited or contracted for Sierra Leone issue. They invited me, and I met two white guys who are the lobbyists for Bernard Uri. They asked me to be Bernard Uri's running mate. They will move me from the War Crown Court. Then they will move Bernard Uri's name for the economic crown, for the maritime money and so forth. So I told that, well, look here, are you telling me the truth here? Because if you know I committed heinous crime against humanity, why would you want to remove my name because you want to be vice president? Bullshit. Huh? If I came to remove Doe to liberate this great country from a dictatorial regime, from a tyrannical regime, and I left my function to go on a killing spree, then let me face the War Crown Court. If it is real, I go there. I'm not above the law. But you can't threaten me and put me under subjection that I must be running me to Bernard Uri.
So you think there might be some interest even of foreign powers into this election?
I don't think so.
No?
I think Donald Trump, President Trump, the United States government has said they want to see a neutral election. Had there been a president, perhaps like Hillary, who is a good friend of Madame Salif, who 2011 temporary election. So I think it's okay now.
A lot of people who have seen this video that is currently circulating on YouTube about how you removed President Samuel Doe out of power
I'll tell you this. I cannot answer that. Samuel Doe, Bush Turbo. Do we have that video too? We have. He went to the Greystone compound where the American embassy is, killed the people. He entered the church and desecrated God's house. When you desecrate God's house, God's spirit moves from you. You are gone.
So you pay your debt? You pay debt on behalf of the people?
For every action, there's a reaction.
So if there are tyrants in power, you say there has to also be some violence to remove them.
You know, the norms that are found in a tyrannic regime are not found in democratic dispensation.
I was at your church and I was quite fascinated by it, and the education center above the church, I thought it was really amazing, and I was just like thinking, is that your way of saying sorry to the nation?
Look here, I don't know in what respect you are saying. After Civil War, you built a country. That's my way of contributing, not a way of saying sorry.
Would you say that even if such a situation comes up again in the future, where there's really a tyrant that deserves to be killed, would you do the same thing again, or would you do something different now as a reformed Christian?
If there was ever a government in Liberia again that chose to massacre Liberians, they will meet similar response. Even if I'm dead or gone, they will meet similar response. If I'm alive and the government chooses to eliminate my people and target my people, we will remove you.
But is this also what
we will remove you if you are a dictator. If there was ever a dictator to replace Doe, to target the people of Nimba, to eliminate them, or any Liberian, to eliminate any particular people, we will gang up and remove you. County, my backbone, who stood in long lines under the sun and rain to vote for me to lead this country. You have faithfully stood by me in all the elections in which I have participated. Though we did not achieve our dreams, but we have always enjoyed the honor to desire the presidency of Liberia. I therefore urge you all to keep hope alive. We will get there by God's own time. As I told the 15 counties during the campaign, I became more convinced than ever that Liberia needs change and a new government with a new vision. The roads linking our countries are deplorable and impossible. I believe that Liberia can fix this problem through the introduction of the toll-gate system. I am also convinced that Liberia stands Liberia needs security. This includes food security, job security, and health security. The next government needs to stop the importation of rice and invest in mechanized farming in order to make our country self-reliant in food production. I know that no one party can solve all these problems alone. That is why we must all join in to make the Liberian dream a reality. We must also continue to promote the doctrine of freedom of speech and civil liberties for all Liberians and strangers within our borders. We must lend our support to elect that government that will be for the people, of the people, and by the people. My fellow Liberians, judging from the results of the just ended first round of our presidential election, two parties made it to the runoff. They are the Unity Party, the Congress for Democratic Coalition. Analyzing the result further, the majority of the Liberian people voted for change. The message therefore was loud, clear, and unavoidable. Pursuant to the historic meeting of opposition political parties, I called in Ghana in September of 2016, which gave birth to the Ghana Declaration. We committed ourselves to ensuring an opposition victory for change in 2017 presidential election. After holding a broad-based consultation with stakeholders and partisans from across the country, and our stronghold in Nimba County, including executives of the MTR and with their approval and consent, I have resolved to remain committed to the spirit and intent of the Ghana Declaration, of which was the convener, host, and architect in chief. Consistent with this belief, I am therefore honored today to announce to the Liberian people and the world aloud that with abiding faith in God and love for my country, my full and unflinching support and collaboration to the Congress for Democratic Coalition and my candidacy as Senator George as President of the Republic of Liberia in the forthcoming presidential runoff election scheduled for November 7, 2017. I therefore call on all members, supporters, sympathizers, and well-wishers of the MPR and all signatories of the Ghana Declaration and opposition political party leaders to join me in endorsing and supporting Senator George Manuel for the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. May God bless Liberia, long live Liberia, long
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will ask you to please clear the hallway now. We are not going to take questions. You heard the declaration. So there are no more questions here. Please clear the hallway. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bolte. It's a pleasure being here.
So, as chairman of the CDC, what brings you to the United States?
Well, firstly, Mr. Bolte, as you know, during the last, say, 9 to 12 months, our country has been engulfed by Ebola. And as a major political party, we felt it was our responsibility to begin to provide some leadership. We came to the United States firstly to extend our thanks and appreciation to the United States government, and also to ask the United States government to find a way to see how we can now begin to address the post-Ebola recovery program. So, and secondly, we also wanted to find an opportunity to speak to our partisans who are in the U.S. So that's the reason why we are here.
So let's talk about the Ebola. Just this week, we are reading that it seems that somebody else has Ebola is coming back again.
Well, it's quite unfortunate. I mean, I've been reading on the news. When we left Monrovia, things were very good. Unfortunately, we are now reading that things are coming back. We are wondering why this is happening. Some people believe that Liberians, probably they are beginning to forget about some of the measures that were put in place, the things that we're doing to prevent Ebola. And there are others who believe that our government should take some practical steps. You know, one of the reasons why we had Ebola was because the first person who brought Ebola to Liberia came from Guinea. And if the situation in Sierra Leone and Guinea is not resolved, there's always a tendency that there could be a re-emergence of Ebola in Liberia. But Liberians themselves, the citizens themselves, will now begin to realize that we cannot be complacent, because this virus is very dangerous. And if we don't take the practical steps, as we did, to eradicate or reduce or eliminate the virus, we may continue to see the resurgence of the virus.
As a major political party, I mean, the major political party in Liberia, the leading political party, am I right to say that?
You are very right. We are the leading, major, and most popular political party in the country.
Okay, so now what do you think, you came here to thank the United States, what do you think about the way your government handled the Ebola crisis?
Well, initially, I mean, the president himself admitted that the government initially did not handle the process very correctly. Probably could be because no one in the country knew what Ebola was. And so the government did not take keen interest. I think from March to June, until the death of an employee from the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Patrick Sawyer, before the government took interest. And by that time, the situation was already getting worse. And I think the government did not do well at the initial stage. However, I think it was a good initiative after the death of Patrick Sawyer for the government to now begin to call the international community to come in and see how the Ebola situation could be resolved. And we want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the international community, especially the United States of America, for coming to the aid of Liberian people. We hope the government have learned a new lesson, and the government will now begin to ensure that the resurgence of the virus would not occur, and we'll take all practical steps to make sure that we don't experience what we experienced 9 to 12 months ago.
So while you are here in the United States, you are also meeting with members of the CDC here. How strong is your party?
Well, our party is very strong. I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of Liberians who are CDC. Liberians in the United States have much concern about what is happening back home. They want to see the situation improve. They want to have an opportunity to go back home. Liberians want to go back and invest. One of the things I'm hearing from Liberians is that the government is now creating the opportunity, the environment for Liberians to invest. And I've realized that. And during my inauguration, I raised that same issue. Look, when you are in opposition to the government, you're not an enemy. And the government cannot create barriers that only people in government can have the opportunity to invest. And citizens, Liberian citizens who are not members of the government or even in the opposition should have the opportunity to bring investment into their country. Because if we have investment, Mr. Bonte, more Liberians will have jobs. But if you limit the possibility for opposition candidates or not, Liberians who are not supportive of the regime, not to bring investment in the country, then we have a problem on unemployment. Because the government alone cannot employ people. Now you see a lot of Liberians are unemployed. The difficulty is so high in the country, and people are complaining. And the government needs to change its course and say, look, the country belongs to everyone. What we need to do is to open up. Liberians will have the opportunity. But we cannot take foreigners over Liberians. Most of the investment in terms of the natural resources, you see the oil. We have a lot of concession going to oil company. You see foreigners are having opportunity to even do, for instance, rock business. We call it rock crusher, breaking rocks. And you have foreigners doing cold water business. Our government must now begin to give Liberian opportunity to take power of the whole economy.
So are you suggesting that investment opportunities are limited to people who sympathize or support the government.
I mean, that is correct, because, Mr. Botte, I know very well, if you are, for CEC, for instance, if you went to Liberia and carry any investment in Liberia, there will be no way the government will give you opportunity to invest. I mean, this is a problem. And it is not becoming, let us suppress them until let us suppress them for them to become beggars. And government individuals have the opportunity now to bring in investors. They are doing all the investment, and we have to change that course.
So, I talk to me. You talk about how the strength of your party here in the United States. I mean, did I hear that Ambassador George Weah might run for president again?
There's a strong possibility. Ambassador Weah, for now, like I said, Ambassador Weah is primarily focused on his senatorial portfolio. What he wants to do in the next 1 year, 1.5 years, to try to change the condition of our people, provide opportunity for them. He has said, I mean, in 90 days, he will find a way to see how he can concentrate on basic health needs of the people, go in the community, provide work, because sanitation, look, we don't even have safe drinking water. It's about it. Sanitation is an issue. And Mr. Weah is primarily focused on that. He's trying to reach out, go to the villages. He was in Todi the last time, talking to the people. That is his primary focus round. As we go to 2017, there's a greater possibility that Ambassador Weah could be a candidate.
So, a candidate. Lately, I mean, your party has been plagued with a lot of, say, infighting. And there's been this criticism that your party is not, does not have no leadership, because you have this infighting going on in your party.
Well,
if you're going to be a contender, people say, well, you need to get your act together.
I think that is history. That is the past. I mean, the party is very focused as we move forward now. You can see our president in the United States. We have a very strong team of leadership. We have a strong Secretary General. We have a strong youth leader. The National Executive Committee is very strong. We're a strong leader, Ambassador Weah himself is in charge. We are now talking about reconciliation. We are reaching out to other political parties to come in. One of the things we've said, Ambassador Weah said at my inauguration on the 20th of July, is that one party cannot win an election, meaning the CDC alone cannot do it. We are reaching out to Liberians from diverse backgrounds, irrespective of political persuasion, to come on board. So we are reaching out. Our party is very strong, very focused. As we speak now, we have people in Riverside. We having a by-election in Riverside. And there's no more infighting in our party. That was the past. Yes, because people will always say we have infighting because some individuals of our party have always violated the party principles. And when the party take action, people say we are infighting. That's really not being infighting. But as we move forward now, the party, new leadership is primarily focused on bringing all parties in together, individual level parties to come home and join the effort of rebuilding Liberia. That is primary, because as you know, since 9 years of this government, 10 years, much have not been achieved, and Liberia want to see a lot. And the president said she will bring electricity. 10 years, we are still trying to build a hydro. And the agriculture sector is very down. Liberians who are growing their crops cannot afford to even sell them. And I mean, we want to change that course. And so CDC is focused on that, and we're trying to bring people together.
We say bring people together, not just the partisans of the CDC. The people have said before, are you doing enough to recruit professionals?
We are doing that. I mean, one of the things one of the things I see in my visit, a lot of professional Liberians who have real interest in their country. They want to go back home, and we have professionals also on the ground. But you got to now be given the opportunity, and we want to change that. This government will now begin to move forward and not see professional Liberians who may have varying view to the government to see that as opponent. We need to bring them on board. They are Liberians who have something to contribute. And one of the things we said when we had our meeting at the State Department was to assure the Americans that
this perception or this idea that has been portrayed by our opponents that the CDC is a violent institution. That's not true. Yes, we may have young partisans who, because of the law for their country, may see things be going wrong, and they may act in a way that people may think is not right. But genuinely, they want to see a change. They don't intend to destroy the country. In fact, Mr. Ambassador, we have been a champion of peace in Liberia. And nowhere in the history of our country has the major opposition leader become the peace ambassador of the ruling party. Advocating, the president is the actual peace ambassador, but for George Weah, who is the major opposition leader in the country, to be leading the effort in the interest of the president, it never happened before. That is the manifestation that CDC actually want peace. And one of the things we said to members of the State Department is that we in the CDC will never do anything to undermine the peace and stability of our country, because we believe that the CDC stand the best chance of winning election. Individuals who don't have the opportunity to win election may want